Hey, solos. So you want to go to Walt Disney World all by yourself, and you want to know of just a couple different places around the parks and Disney Springs and even at the resorts where you can just like take a moment to yourself and just like appreciate all that Disney Solo Magic has to offer on your Disney solo trips. Where might these places be? Where are some underrated, overlooked places that you might not even realize are kind of comfortable places to like rest and sit and consolidate your energy when you're there with everybody else. But when you're by yourself, you're like, oh, you know what? This is amazing. So we're going to talk about the today. Hi, everyone. It is Samantha. Well, love me not know who Samantha is, but now you do. And welcome to Disney Solo Magic, the number one podcast for solo travel to Disney World, now in its third year. So I had a different idea for this week, but it's been it's been kind of a week, y'all. I have like literally an episode in the queue that I have to edit, and I just was like, I can't deal with that right now. And then I recorded a whole episode earlier in the week, and I also just am like, "No, I can't deal with that." And then, yeah, other things have happened this week, and, it's been a week. It's been a week. But what's really interesting is, especially if you're a Patreon member, you know that I have been talking about just how busy I've been the last couple months. And it's been an interesting mix of busy because, on one hand, like, yeah, it's nice to be busy, and especially because we were launching a new program at work, and so of course, like all hands on deck. But there also was like an element of like what's what I'm looking for? Like, just kinda harried busy, like unorganized busy. Like, there's I was talking to somebody about my frustrations with certain elements of what was happening, and they were like, "So it's essentially like you're the nervous system for the whole project." And I was like, "Yes, yes, yes." And I found myself very detached from all things Disney, and every once in a while that happens, and I think to myself, like, "Oh, am I, quote, unquote, growing out of it? Like, am I just not like, is it just not the thing anymore for me?" And then I'll like see something and I'm like, no, it definitely is. But why am I like not connecting with it? Why am I not like, by connecting with it? I mean, like, why am I not thinking about it all day long? So, so then this week happened and like, oh gosh, I blah, 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 blah. You can fill in the blanks however you'd like to. And I found myself actually just instinctively moving towards Disney in really interesting ways. So I was watching a video of the Skyliner on a loop for like 3 hours. Not like I was doing other things. It was like on in the background, but I was like, "Yes, Skyliner." And then I was doing some work earlier in the day, and I was like, all I want is like the resort TV soundtrack on, even though it has, like, the Nutcracker, and I'm very, like, seasonally specific, and so you would think, "No, that wouldn't work," but somehow it was like, "Yeah, I just want resort TV." And then I would, like, pop over to Threads, which I haven't been on for a while, and I would see people, posting about their solo trips or asking about solo trips or asking about adult Disney stuff, and it was just like, hey like, it makes me so excited when people are, like, taking baby steps into solo travel to Disney, to, like, taking baby steps into imagining themselves as an adult there without children, and it was just, like, really exciting, and I found myself like, "Oh, I had been giving up a lot of certain, like, core elements of self to get this project off the ground." And now and now I'm just gonna leave that blank. And now, I can kinda just, like, come back to myself and, like, put things together, and that feels familiar. I don't wanna say good, it's been a week, but it feels very familiar, and I am very comforted in that familiarity, and I think that is why Oh my gosh, y'all, this is just the introduction. And that is why I think that is why so many of us do like to do solo travels to Disney and go back. Or like if you had gone as a kid or as a teenager or even as just like a parent, as an adult, but like going back and recreating that familiarity and that comfort and, like, knowing it's gonna meet you with magic, I think is really powerful. So, I when I was thinking about this week's episode, especially because there's just, my brain is just in so many different, spaces right now, I just thought, you know what? It would be cool to, like, tell you the places my mind goes when I wanna, like, find a happy place and, like the happy places that I found at the parks and at the resorts and at Disney Springs, and so I just wanted to, like, walk you through some of those places because I've been visiting them in my mind all week, but also when I'm in the parks and when I'm there, I gravitate towards these spaces as places to, like, go and again consolidate my energy and just, like, revel in the beauty that is Walt Disney World and, the wonder that it can be for you when you're solo. And you're going to have heard some of these stories before, so apologies. But I hope that at the very least, it allows you to start like thinking of places for your own and like creating that archive of your own thoughts. So anyway, that was that was a really great introduction. I'm on all the social medias. And there's also Patreon. And let's just get into it. All right, all right, all right. So that was a long preamble, but I wanted to kind of be frank about what was going on, so I could contextualize why I felt this episode was kind of the right one to record and edit and post this week, even though that wasn't the original plan. So we're gonna start right at Magic Kingdom. Now, I feel like Magic Kingdom is just all around magical, but there are some places that I do feel overlooked that I always love to just go back to and just kind of like appreciate. So one place I don't think I've talked about as often as a couple of the other places is the bridge that connects Adventureland and Liberty Square. Although it doesn't quite connect it, it is a bridge kind of in front of both of those lands, in between those lands and the plaza. So if you are going to the cheeseburger or spring rolls cart, if you look to the right, you'll see that bridge that's there. And if you are like at the back of, the old Christmas shoppy, the Christmas shop, and you look to your left, I guess, you'll see that bridge as well, same bridge. And but behind Liberty Square, there's the bridge, but there are also like a retaining wall, and there is places that you can kind of sit, which is nice because Disney got rid of a lot of seating. Actually, Jenny Nicholson, who did the 3 hour Star Wars hotel, talked about that in a video that she did a few years ago regarding like Star Wars Land. And so if you want to be cynical, I guess, you should give that you should give that a watch. I have to like prevent myself from thinking about her stellar analysis when I'm in the parks. Anyway, whatever. So behind the Christmas shop, there is some places that you can just kind of sit, and it seems always shady, and there's a bridge and it's over water, and you can really feel the, like, Adventureland is about to come upon you. I find even though it's the exact same bridge, I quite like this space going from Liberty Square, the Christmas shop to Adventureland rather than do the cheeseburger carts, side of the bridge to Liberty Square. I don't know what it is, but I do find it just more serene from that other direction. So I just want to shout that out. I also want to shout out, and this is a real niche one, is that the exit to Haunted Mansion when the fireworks are going on, you can actually see the fireworks from the exit to the Haunted Mansion, and they don't usually allow people to hang out there because they need to keep, like, the crowds flowing, but if but during the fireworks, they can often make exceptions, especially if it's just, like, a little old you, it's just a solo. So, go check that out because I just felt that it was really special. I mean, it felt like I was by myself, even though I had cast members around me, and again, it just felt like a really special spot. Now, I mean, I feel like I've talked about some of my other favorite places at Magic Kingdom, so let's go over to Epcot and talk about some of the, like, special spaces that I really love there. And I'm going to start with actually not even a place to, like, rest and consolidate your energy, but it's actually a place of movement for me. When you are coming in the back entrance, like, from the Skyliner, and you are going through International Gateway and you're going up that hill, and then there is the bridge to France. And when you come around that corner, you can see the Eiffel Tower, and then if you look back, you can see the England Pavilion, and I just find all of that a very special I just feel like the energy is very special there. And there is a place actually, like, the whole bridge, so that's why I mean it's a place of movement, but there is actually a place that is a few steps down that's right on the water right there, and that's also a pretty cool place to just kinda sit and, like, look out at the water. Sometimes it's closed off for, private events like weddings and things like that, but it is kind of a nice place to go. Now, I have sat there and, like, ate a couple things, but I don't necessarily feel comfortable sitting there. Like, I don't feel, I don't know what it is. Maybe I should give it another shot. I guess I just mean, like, I don't feel like it's like a hidden corner. It's not overly comfortable. I don't know. I'm gonna give it another shot, but it is a really nice space, but I just never feel myself wanting to stay in that space, which is just interesting, which is just kind of an interesting feeling. Whereas in the Japan pavilion, I can get myself a shaved ice and find just like a little nook where the koi ponds are heading up towards the little quick service at the top of that little hill there where there is a secret bathroom, by the way. And I just find that so tranquil, especially listening to the water running. And I have sat there many a time and just been like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I'm here." I remember this one time I was there and it was, like, raining a lot of the trip. It might have been the hurricane trip that I was there for, and I was really trying to make the best of it from very much a washed out type of day. I usually have a much better I'm trying to think, like, why I think it was just the rain and the rain and the rain and the rain and the rain. Yeah, I think it was, like, the hurricane canceled one day, so we had to, like, be barricaded in our rooms because there was a hurricane, and then the next day, they did open the parks. I was able to, like, reschedule my Keys to the Kingdom tour, and it was sunny and fine, and then as soon as the tour ended, it was a torrential downpour, so I got wet, and then the rain subsided, and I went over to Epcot, and I was eating a shaved ice there, and it started raining again, and I looked at my dessert, and it's like, sitting in the rain in that area, and I just was thinking, "Okay, I'm done. I've been here for 4 days, and I'm, like, ready to go home. I cannot battle the rain anymore. I cannot battle this anymore." But I felt like it was kind of safe to just kinda sit there and have those thoughts, like, it wasn't in the hustle and bustle and fray of all these different things happening where just my brain was, doing other things. I could just kinda sit there and be like, "Alright, Samantha, it's been quite a trip. You can head to the airport. Like, you don't need to do anything else on this trip to make it worth your while. You had a time, you had some elements of a great time." I actually remember some quick service that I got at Captain Cook's at the Polynesian, and I brought it back to my hotel room. I think I was staying at the Pop Century, and I was like, "Ooh, Polynesian has much better quick service." So anyway, the gardens and the benches and things like that in the Japan pavilion, always very, very serene, hidden bathroom, and a great place if you're solo. in Hollywood studios. Y'all, I definitely feel like I really don't do I hope you have other content creators and other podcasters that tell you so much more about, like, Toy Story Land and about, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Like, I hope you find other people that tell you all that because I just have very limited interest in that. And, like, the creators who live in Florida, and they can go all the time. It doesn't really matter if they like spend a few hours in a place that's not like really their aesthetic or their thing because they can come back the next day. But when I'm traveling from, from another country and I do go to the parks to make content for you, but I also go because I want a solo trip, right? So I don't really want to be like, oh, okay, let's do some things that I know I'm not going to like, in order to create content for you. I mean, if you'd like me to do that, I guess you can sponsor me to do a whole day rather than the $4 Patreon membership. Just like be like, okay, here's $200 or whatever. Just spend the day in Galaxy's Edge and to do all the things. And yeah, okay. Anyway, I'm taking sponsorships, I guess. So for my underrated spots at Hollywood Studios, I'm going to stick to the main place that I spend time in, which is Sunset Boulevard and Hollywood Boulevard. And I mean, I just love that whole street. And there are so many I just love that whole street. It's really, really wonderful. And right in that little corner between the Brown Derby Lounge and that first store, which is like a villain store, at least it was, that's how I think of it. It's always just kind of seems so shady. And I've talked about it quite a few times on the podcast that is a corner that I will go and I'll just cry if I hear Don't Under the Apple Tree, which is a song I associate with my grandmother, like that time period. And I just I just feel like there's a little bit of a magic in that corner. It really feels like, the Hollywood that never was and always will be, which is what Michael Eisner said about MGM Studios when it opened in '89. It really, 88, 89? It really feels just like an untouched little corner, which is so interesting because there's so much stimulation, all over Walt Disney World, and it just feels like a corner that feels like it's from the '80s, like it's a little bit untouched, and I think that's why I always gravitate towards that corner for for a little bit of a cry. The other place that I really, really recommend, and I think a lot of you listening will appreciate the role that Beauty and the Beast, as well as Aladdin and Little Mermaid and Lion King and Pocahontas, Hunchback of Notre Dame, played in our childhoods. And going to see the Beauty and the Beast stage show, I find is like, yeah, 10-year-olds, like definitely. And I will call it the sing along. It is not a sing along, but you sit at the back away from people and like no one's listening to you. And I've told this story numerous, numerous times that and I say that by the way, because I have family members that do not remember that they've told me stories multiple times. And so I just want to like flag too that I know this is recycled content if you were a long time listener. Anyway, so, if you go to the Beauty and the Beast sing-along show sing-along show, see, I did it again. If you go to the Beauty and the Beast show, the back bleachers, I always will look up there, and inevitably, there are solos all over that area. Not families, just solos, and they are doing exactly what I'm doing, which is eating and singing along, and it really just feels cool. It feels like we can go be our 10-year-old selves or 8-year-old selves or whatever up there singing along to Beauty and the Beast, be our guest, etc. So that's my spot for there. What I would really, really love to add to this list is like the patio, the Tower of Terror. Like, like the hotel itself, right? If you when in the exit, when you're exiting, if you look up, you can see what's supposed to be the patio of this hotel. And I just really wish it was open and I would love to hang out there. I'd love it. I actually love to slowly walk through the queue and the gardens and the mist. And I would spend more time there. Like I would just spend time there with a book, but the energy that people bring in to get on the ride really quickly is just I just don't like the energy. But I love the set building of all of that. It probably feels much different now that the Muppets are there. So ooh, let me know what you think of the Muppets. All right, Animal Kingdom. You know what? There really isn't one place in Animal Kingdom. There's so many places. And what's so funny about Animal Kingdom is that it's a relatively small place for humans to walk, right? Like the visitors to walk. But in comparison to the other parks. But every single time I am there, I find a new little corner. And it is always just so interesting how many, like, secrets, not even secrets, but, like, private spaces, not even private. Mm, just how many, like, little nooks and crannies of surprise, I think that's a better way to say it, that are available, and just, like, go and explore them. It's so hard to explain, but every time if I go towards the water, inevitably, I'm finding a cool place to go and sit, or a really cool view of the Tree of Life, like, that's for me, I just go towards the water and then I'm like, "Where am I? Like, h how am I finding this new space?" So, Animal Kingdom is just like all of it. And then the other place is a little bit more, I guess, obvious at Animal Kingdom. You think I'm gonna say Nomad's Lounge, don't you? I'm not. Although, sure, that's a great place too. The obvious place is the bleachers, I guess, for lack of a better word, the seating around that main waterway, around Africa. And because they had different shows and things like that around the water, so there's a ton of seating, and I've recorded a couple episodes there. So go check that out. All right. So at Disney Springs, I really like to hang out at like the old Disney, like like where they have the Christmas shop and the tea shop. I do not know how the tea shop has that lease still. Like all that area reminds me of going to downtown Disney like 25 years ago. And so I always just kind of spend a lot of time around that area. I do feel like it's going to be redeveloped really soon, but I just like love that little walk. And I also love when you do that little walk, you go right to the boats to go to Saratoga Springs, to go to Port Orleans Riverside and Port Orleans French Quarter, to go to Old Key West. And so I love that little walk there, and I love to take the boats to those resorts. And remember, you don't need to stay at those resorts to go and visit them. You could go to Old Key West and get a key lime Dole Whip, and it has like graham cracker crust. Yes, please. You can go to Olivia's Cafe and have brunch. It's known for its brunch, but I also had dinner there, and it was delicious. It was really great. And there's like patio seating, which is pretty cool. I'm talking about Olivia's Cafe, which is at Old Key West. Um, yeah, so go visit there. I also obviously like the beignets at French Quarter. Everybody loves the beignets, but there's also live jazz at Port Orleans French Quarter on maybe not Mondays and Tuesdays, but like every other day of the week. So go check that out. Riverside, one of the restaurants that they have boat rides. It was delicious. It's like you know, Cajun food, New Orleans style food. And I've been to New Orleans a couple times. I didn't really like it. I know, whatever. I'll go back, I promise. In September, I guess. That's what everybody says. But I found that the food actually at Boat Rights was comparable to what I ate in New Orleans and much less stressful. Also, at Downtown Disney, I really like checking out the rooftop bar at the Coke restaurant. So that's been a new favorite from the last like year and a half or so. So the Coca-Cola store, I'm not even like a Coca-Cola drinker. But I had learned that they had a lot of non-alcoholic drinks, and I do love a non-alcoholic drink. So I made a point to like go up there, and there's a great view of Disney Springs. You can get a like non-alcoholic float flight, which is really cool to try a whole bunch of different things. Sometimes they're a little barfy, and it's a really cool vibe. Now, when you come up initially, there like you come up in the elevator or the stairs, you're going to be like blasted with music and it's going to feel really overwhelming. I get that. I 100% get that. But if you go to the very opposite, like if you go to the end of the patio so you can see the balloon the best, it's not as covered and therefore there aren't as many speakers. And that actually is just kind of a nice vibe. So that's where I go at Disney Springs. And that leads us to the resorts. So I'm just going to do kind of a blanket statement about the hotel lobbies. Now, lobbies are like liminal places, right? They're transition places. They aren't places that you're necessarily supposed to sit. And when you are staying by yourself, you don't need to escape your room to go find somewhere else to go hang out. But I really want to encourage you to pop by other lobbies other than the hotel that you're staying at. One, to get the vibe and get the feel because maybe you want to stay there. But also because it might be a cool place to just go and hang out and sit. Sometimes there's like a place to get a drink or something to eat, a quick service restaurant. But you might also find like, oh, you know what? On my next trip, I'm going to bring a book and I'm going to find this abandoned chair at the yacht club or the beach club, and this is actually kind of a relaxing place to read inside, and it might be, like, a cool place to go in between Hollywood Studios and Epcot, like, go check that out. Boardwalk, yacht club, beach club, they all have cool little places to go and sit and just relax for a while, indoor and outdoor, which is really nice, and again, you don't need to be a guest at those hotels to go check it out. Animal Kingdom Lodge, like, forget about it, like, y'all, if you're not going to Animal Kingdom Lodge to hang out, like, bad. You've done a bad thing. Wilderness Lodge, Grand Floridian, like, there are just so many places. Yes, the lobbies, but then also, not just around the pools because, again, you can't go in the pools if you aren't staying at the hotel, but there are always places kind of around, in the outside that you can go and hang out in. Well, Port Orleans Riverside, for example, the back of the lobby has these rocking chairs that you can go and watch the water, and there are boats that will take you to and from Disney Springs. Just go check them out. Go check them out. Speaking of boats, I want to end this episode by giving a shout out to what I think is often very underlooked, underappreciated, and overlooked. There we go. Is places to consolidate your energy and could be like happy places that you think about when you are having a stressful week, and that is the Disney transportation. So for me, those Disney boats are just like number one. Um, for so long, if someone was like, "What's your happy place?" It was the boat between Grand Floridian and Magic Kingdom. Like, I was able to just recall so many sensory memories of that trip. That like just, it's what, 5 minutes, 10 minutes? And so, like, definitely check that out. And then the thing that I started the episode with, which is the Skyliner. Like, da 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 da. Like, gosh, there is just something about it that just is so relaxing and, just so chill, and it is a place that I will go to on the internet and watch and really, like, get calmer because I can just watch these trips. So there you go. Also, my number one fun fact, which is Disney World, is twice the size of Manhattan and is the size of San Francisco, was actually learned on the Skyliner. So the Skyliner between Hollywood Studios and the Caribbean Beach Resort hub, sometimes you'll get a lot of different trivia. I mean, it's actually the same set of trivia when you're on it, and that is one piece that I've it just stuck with me. So I like to quote that all the time. So that's me. Um, I guess that's it until next week. I think what's on the schedule next week is another interview. I have so many interviews. I hope you like last week's interview. I hope you like the ones coming up. And I'm going to be interviewing somebody in a couple days too, who just was written up in People Magazine and the Daily Mail for her solo trip. So that's pretty cool. All right, solos, until next time. Bye. Hey solos, it's Samantha. As we move into our third year of the podcast, please continue to support the podcast by liking, reviewing, subscribing on any and all of the platforms that this streams: Apple, Spotify, and on YouTube. Becoming a Patreon member is also an option and also just a wonderful way to support me and the podcast. Much appreciated to all the members, both free and paid. I can't wait to continue making content for you as we move into our third year.